you, my lords. It's always a bit of a tangle when we get to that point. My lords, I want to thank the Noble Lady the Minister for her comprehensive response to this group of amendments, and thank everyone who contributed to what I think has been a very rich debate, marked by I was going to say remarkable, but I think I'm going to say astonishing degree of consensus from all corners of your Lordship's House. I'm not going to run through all I'm afraid I don't think I've got time to run through all the contributions. I will just very briefly thank both the Right Reverend Prelate, the Bishop of Manchester, and the Noble Lady Baroness Butler-Sloss for sharing their personal experiences. And I think in responding to the amendment on bereavement services, I acknowledge what the Noble Lady the Minister said, but I think we still feel there's some very major gaps, and the Noble Lady Baroness Barron referred to charities providing lots of services here, but not everyone is going to be able, particularly in the moment, to access .gov.uk, and I think there's still very clearly felt to be some gaps in that area. I'm not, again, going to run through everything, but I do just want to pick up the intervention from the Noble Lady Baroness Barron, and I do think there is really a need to come back on 169, 172. I think there is the point that if you have a woman who's had a series of babies removed, she doesn't have a child, and therefore it's going to be very tempting to local services to not put, they don't have any statutory responsibility, and they're not going to see this as being coming under their remit. And unless there is some specific step taken here, this is an awful problem which is just going to keep reoccur at great human and personal cost. On Amendment 68, the one that I started with, I think I've neglected to thank the Noble Lady Baroness Benjamin and the Noble Lord Farmer for supporting it, so I'm going to do that now. And I'm also just going to come back to the Noble Lady the Minister, because I think that what the Noble Lady said in recounting her experience with Sure Start centres actually provides quite a powerful argument for this amendment, for something to be put on the face of the bill. Because the Noble Lady said, as ministers very often, of all stripes, very often do, oh, we're doing this anyway, you don't need to put this on the face of the bill. But we are in a very an age of great political turmoil. None of us knows what comes next. And if this was to be made a statutory responsibility for local authorities to provide this, and I am going to use the non-stigmatising word, I'm aware that the Noble Lady Baroness Barron finds it a bit of a mouthful, but I think it's an important principle that that door over there, that service, is not something that people, families with problems walk through. It's a door that lots of families walk through to get support. And that non-stigmatising label is really terribly important to make sure that everyone's able to access this service and it doesn't provide any sort of stigma. And if that is given as a statutory responsibility to local authorities, we know that local authorities have so little funding that they're only delivering on statutory responsibilities. If it's not statutory and politics changes, then we can see the same seesaw, the same creation of services and then destruction of services that we've seen before. And surely we want to get off that seesaw. So, of course, I'm going to withdraw Amendment 68 at this moment, but I reserve the right to come back to it at report stage.
Is it your Lordship's pleasure